Hi, everyone. This is Barbara Mayerson from joyandsuccess.com, and I am here with one of my friends from overseas, which is always fun for me. Although, if you're where she is, you're not overseas, but she's overseas. Here for me, I'm in New York, and she's a little bit outside of London, and I'm so thrilled to have her. It's always fun to talk to somebody from the other side of the ocean, and her name is Melanie Moore, and I want to introduce her. And thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Barbara. And absolutely, it's always wonderful to connect with people on the other side of the world. So yeah, this is lovely. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you're welcome. She was asking me how I found her, and one of the way, well, the way that I did find her was through YouTube on money issues and tapping on money stuff. And it's a lot of fun because she's different than a lot of other people out there, and she's just a lot of fun. So I'm gonna just ask her how she got started and what her passions are, and we're gonna do a little tapping. So take it away, Melanie.
So Barbara said my name's Melanie Moore. I call myself a big vision coach. So I help my clients to tap into their big vision metaphorically through just, getting clear on what they want, their goals, their dreams, what they want to accomplish. So we tap into that vision that's inside of us. I believe we all have a big vision that most of us, sadly, we don't allow ourselves to go there because of all the old stories and the limiting beliefs as to why we can't have the things that we want. But then we actually physically tap into it with EFT, with tapping. So my business is called Tapping Into Your Big Vision. And I've been an EFT practitioner for nearly a decade now. I actually started off as a holistic therapist doing Reiki and reflexology treatments. So I've always been interested in energy and alternative healing. Actually saying that, I actually started off as a model and a journalist, over 20 years ago. I then spent 10 years in the corporate world. And then, 12 years ago, I started my own business doing, 11 years ago, I started off doing my own business as a therapist. EFT came along quite quickly afterwards because I was introduced to it, but then I was getting really good results. At the time I was helping my clients with childbirth, fertility and pregnancy, and EFT was a wonderful tool for helping my clients overcome the fears of childbirth, fears of actually getting pregnant as well, because I was doing reflexology and Reiki. EFT was just such a wonderful complement. However, I've always been massively interested in personal development, the law of attraction. I read The Secret when it first came out. And so I think that was kind of something that ran alongside. And in The Secret, they talked about vision boards. And I thought, oh, this sounds so much fun. I'm going to make a vision board. So I must have made my first vision board, at least 10 years ago. And then a couple of years later, I got my existing clients, who came to see me from their therapy treatments, and said, look, I'm going to start doing these vision board workshops. Would you like to take part? They're just fun. Think about the things you want to manifest in your life, your goals, dreams, places, your dream home, all that kind of thing. And you cut pictures out, stick them on a vision board, and great. So they were two very separate parts of my business. And as my business evolved, I eventually closed down the therapy part of my business. I then focused mainly on coaching using EFT as the tool. But then I slowly niched down, I think you'd say niched down into just helping people with the vision for their life, the vision for their business. And now I actually talk about the 4 pillars of your big vision. And for me, those 4 pillars are your health and vitality, your abundance, which is a money mindset, which I love talking about, your relationships, which is your marriage or your significant other. It could be a relationship with your children or your parents. And the last one is your environment. That's the home you live in, the car you drive, and it's where you are planted at any one time. So I talk about the 4 pillars of your big vision. And I believe that we should all strive to have as close to a 10 out of 10 in each of those areas as possible. because they're all as equally important as one another. There's no point having a 10 out of 10 in money if you have 0 in your relationships or your health, because they're all equally important. And imagine they're the 4 pillars of your house and the vision sits on top of it. They need to be in balance. So if one's a 0, you're going to have a really wonky house. and you know, and wherever you are right now, so people say, oh, I don't know what my vision is. I would say, look at one of those 4 areas. Which of those is the lowest right now? You know, rate them all out of 10. And the one you need to focus on first is the one that's got the lowest score. And then just spend some time every day on what can I do to improve my relationships pillar? What can I do to improve my abundance pillar? What can I do to improve my health pillar? What can I do to improve my environment pillar? And the environment pillar could be as simple as, you know, I need to declutter my house. I need to refresh my kitchen. I need to clear out stuff from my closet. And you know, there's little things we can do every day to make our lives better. And it's just a continuous journey of improvement. So yeah, that's how my business has evolved. And now I've really gone all into, you know, the psychology and the mindset behind why people aren't living their optimum 10 out of 10 lives, because I really believe we all deserve it. But we've got these stories and we have these limiting beliefs that just get in our way. They're the blocks, they're the obstacles. And when we can start to identify what these stories, the patterns, the limiting beliefs are, and we clear that away with tapping, our lives transform as if by magic. So that's quite a long answer there. Does that all make sense, Barbara?
Yes, it absolutely does. And like when you're talking about the pillars, I mean, I think it's wonderful because a lot of people have no idea what they want. But the fact that you've broken it down the way that you have, and just say, do one little thing, like say, okay, what do I want to work on in this area? And it can be, like you said, very, you know, just cleaning out the kitchen or doing something really small. And I think just being able to just narrow it down, because people get so overwhelmed. They want to change everything and they don't have any idea where to start, and think, you know, they want to move, they want a relationship, they want to lose weight, they want to get more money, but just you're making it so easy and simple for people to understand, and for me to
Yeah.
understand, which is really fabulous, instead of even just one thing a day, like tackling one area of one of those pillars a day. And
Absolutely. And I just want to say though that we can have all of those things, and we should be striving for all of it. It's not like I can only have good health but I've got to stay poor, or I've you know, I totally believe that we were born to live a magnificent, abundant life, and without limits at all. And when we start accepting this as a truth, and we start recognizing that all the stories and all the rubbish that we do not all the obstacles that we put in our way, they're just not true. And when we kind of even look to the source of where that story came from, we'll get such big realizations in our growth and our ability to have a really extraordinary life. So yeah, it's a fabulous journey of, you know, and a lot of this stuff, I've had some massive realizations really very recently, but it's been a continuous journey of growth. You know, it's been well over 10 years that I do the work every single day, and it is a journey. It's about enjoying the process. And you know, because somebody said to me a while ago, oh Mel, how did you achieve all your goals and everything on your vision board? And I was like, what are you talking about? I said, in many ways I feel like I'm just beginning. I haven't ticked, you know, what would be the fun in getting everything you wanted overnight? Where is the growth, or where is the learning in that? There are still lots of places I haven't visited.
I think a lot of people stop, or they just, like, I mean, I love law of attraction and we talk a lot about that, but if you just focus on affirmations and that, you have to go down. You have to find out what the limiting beliefs are, because just it's like putting a band-aid on it, I think, like doing an affirmation and just not really seeing. And yeah,
Yeah.
continually, I mean, I talked to my assistant, Shelley, and I love to go deep and I love to uncover stuff. And a lot of people don't. But I think you
Mm.
really need to do that to really move ahead in a fabulous way, which is what you're saying. Like, uncovering stuff and constantly growing. You have to dig in there and see what's there.
Okay, so I want to share a little story. We're kind of going into money mindset stuff now. Now, I have a membership community, and in this group, I do these regular Zoom calls, and I have hot seats with my clients, and and it's a continuous journey of realization. And I created a new tapping video this is what, just because I create lots of videos for my YouTube channel, but I also create lots of extra videos for my members community. Obviously they're paying, so if I just gave them stuff on YouTube, there wouldn't be much value there for them. So I created a tapping video on the affirmation. I've got it written here: large sums of money come to me easily, effortlessly, and consistently in fun and wonderful ways.
I love that.
And I thought, isn't it great? It's such a great affirmation. But if you start to just tell yourself that over and over again, I had a sudden aha realization. I had a memory of a big trigger point for me. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when I was a teenager, I was quite a successful model. I did lots of modeling campaigns, and it was a really fun period of my life. And I had that exact affirmation was my reality, that large sums of money did come to me easily and effortlessly and consistently in wonderful and fun ways. And I would do some modeling jobs, and I'd get paid £5,000, for a day's work. And at the age of 17, 18 years of age. But I also felt horribly guilty about it as well, because my parents worked very hard as nurses in a hospital, a psychiatric hospital. And often I could make more money in a day than the pair of them combined would earn in a month.
Oh.
Now, my parents were thrilled. They were absolutely delighted for me. And there was never any question of anything. They were just like, just save up your money. It will get you through college. I didn't, and it did, the money did. But not only that, my friends around me, even my boyfriend at the time, were doing regular jobs, earning much less money. And it felt wrong that I could earn this much money. So this is when the sabotage started to creep in. And I ended up sabotaging the modeling career. I didn't show up to castings. There was actually another story, which again, talk about limiting beliefs, that I felt like a fraud, an imposter, because growing up, I didn't feel particularly attractive. I certainly wasn't, in my mind, wasn't one of the pretty girls at school. And it felt like a complete accident that I'd landed this career.
Wow.
And it was imposter syndrome, big case of imposter syndrome. So I told myself, and the other story I told myself was, it's never going to last. This is just a fluke, and all good things must come to an end. That's what I told myself. All these old stories. So inevitably, I did sabotage it. And but actually, I then went on to university. Then I did a journalism degree. But that same story came to me. I got this place and this amazing, degree course. Immediately, I thought, oh my gosh, they picked the wrong person. It was a complete accident that I got my place on this course.
Wow.
And yes, I went through the degree course. I got a degree at the end of it. I graduated. And then I got my dream job at the BBC as a journalist. And it was so extraordinarily lucky, because everyone else who in my peer group at university, they got jobs in their local newspaper. They were struggling to find work, whereas I landed this dream job immediately. Same old story again. They picked the wrong person. It was a mistake. And after 18 months at BBC, I sabotaged that as well. And I ended up settling in a job for the next 10 years where I felt in my comfort zone. I thought, do you know what? I don't want to stand out. I can't be making more money than other people, because it would make others jealous. or let's just fit in. And I had this belief that I couldn't make more money than my husband, that women need to earn less than men. Just a
Mhm.
story I was telling myself, and obviously it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I hope, I didn't want that just be me talking about myself, but it's just an example of how these and can I tell you when I had this realization? February this year, when I
Really?
found
Wow.
my old modeling
Wow.
portfolio from 20, 25 years ago, and I suddenly had this big realization that oh my goodness, I've limited myself so much in my work. Even though I'm working on visibility, putting myself out there on YouTube, I still had this story of not, ultimately the underlying story which so many people have, is that I'm not good enough.
Right. Right.
That is,
That's amazing. I mean, you're a perfect example that you can attract whatever you want, but if you're not really feeling it vibrationally and spiritually and emotionally, it's either going to go away or you're never going to feel happy. And
yeah,
I think that's the key. Like um, at that place that I want to attract it all on a vibrational scale and on a higher scale. And maybe things aren't coming to me the way that I would want them to, but maybe they're not supposed to, because I am supposed to be getting that underlying sense of I deserve it and I feel good about it. And so I won't self-sabotage, because I certainly have self-sabotage. We all do. I really am so grateful for you for sharing that, because, looking at you, you're like, so successful, and, you had this wonderful career, and that life looks wonderful and terrific. And you seem like everything is great, but like underneath it all, it's so wonderful that you shared it. And now, I'm sure you're working on clearing out stuff from 20 years ago or whatever year it was. But
yeah,
people don't talk
yeah,
about that. A lot of the time, especially in The Secret, when that first came out, like everybody's, envision it and everything will be wonderful and terrific. And people, I find, don't like to talk about their own stuff. And they just see somebody who's successful. And I mean, not only in our field, but like actors and actresses and all that stuff. And they don't want to talk about the struggles that they had. And
yeah. And no, and I really would hate to give the illusion that everything is perfect, and because life isn't perfect, and even now there are still things that. But I must admit, since I've had this realization in February, um, even in this short space of time, I've had a big kind of like turnaround in so many areas of my life. Doors that were suddenly closed have opened, and there were other things that I had to deal with. My marriage ended 5 years ago, and that was a big kind of like, oh my gosh, what did I do to attract that?
mm,
Lots of kind of deep unhappiness that was going on for us as a family. I've got 2 children. I didn't want to be a single parent, and there were lots of things, but it was all part of my journey, all part of my evolution. And I'm actually really, really grateful for all the experiences I've been through, because it's brought me to where I am today. And I think when you have a vision for what you want, that has to pull you forward. But then it's kind of also identifying what is it from the past that's kind of kept you where you are. Because if you want something that you've never had before, that vision for the future, it means doing things that you've never done before. And I know that's such a kind of an old kind of, I know you've heard that many times before, but to do something, to have something you never had, you've got to do something you've never done. So it's like, what can I do today that's going to take me out of my comfort zone? What can I do today that is going to stretch me, that's going to challenge me, that's going to feel uncomfortable? But ultimately that is where the growth and the learning happens, when we do stretch ourselves.
yeah, and I like that, like with your money tapping, that I mean, you started out with 50,000 pounds, and
Yes.
then realizing that that's way too high for so many people, and
Yeah.
then brought it down to 5,000 pounds. And that people, I think a lot of people want the 50,000 and they go after it, but the reality is, if you're making 10 or 5, it's not going to happen so quickly. But if they can stretch it a little bit and say, well, the 5,000 sounds more possible. And
Yeah.
the fact that you're doing, you made that other video really speaks to a lot of people. I think that that they can be more realistic, even though they don't want to be. They want the big money, but say, well, you know, back off, slow down a little bit. Get the 5,000 or the
Yeah,
whatever, and it'll come.
and I created those two videos. I think they're two of my most popular videos on my YouTube channel, because ultimately people do want, you know, when you have a big vision, when you've got the dream house, the car, the holidays, it's all got a monetary value on it. So with what I do with my members of my community and my clients, I say, what is the cost of that vision? You know, what is the monetary, you know, it's not always about manifesting money. Sometimes you can just go for the goal, but really, you know, living in the real world, we do need money. So, and to be honest, there's nothing wrong with that as well. And there's nothing wrong with going big with your vision, because, you know, life, the universe will pay us what we ask of it. So ask for more, you know, dream big. You know, it's not possible to ask for too much unless you've got that old story of, you mustn't be greedy, you should be grateful with what you've got, because a lot of us kind of have that going on as well. It's identifying those money stories that are preventing you from asking for more. So say, for example, you know, you've got the big vision, you've actually, in order for me to have that kind of lifestyle, I need £50,000 a month, or it could be 5 or 10 or whatever. This is when you kind of write out, you know, what does that lifestyle look like? So this is when you create the vision. And so rather than just picking a figure out of the blue, like say £50,000 or £10,000, it could just be, you know, I would love to have a cleaner that would come around and clean 3 times a week, or I would love to be able to eat out 3 times a week. I want to be able to go, you know, on holiday 3 times a year. I want to go to Europe in the summer and to Australia in the winter, or whatever, you know, wherever you want to go. And then start to kind of think, you know, what does that lifestyle look like for me? Because although I'm not officially a business coach, I've worked with so many business coaches that I love to help people with their business ideas, with a vision for their business. I love to help people, particularly in the online space, to take their business online, to do things like YouTube videos, to do Facebook Live, to become more present on social media. I really think that most business, particularly anyone who's got something to teach, can bring their business online. And this is where the magic really happens. You know, start to build an audience for yourself. You know, you just discovered me through YouTube, and I don't have a huge following on YouTube. But then when we can start to set a financial goal for ourselves, is then to think about, how can I make money in a way that is, what did I say? Easy, effortless, and consistent, and it's fun. You know, it's a really fun way to work. You know, life should be fun. We should love what we do. If you're not loving your work, then I would find something else that you do love to do. It's such a big part of your life that for me, when I do things like this, for example, it doesn't feel like work. I just love doing what I do. And yeah, and then that's when we can kind of start to build up, figure, you know, I would love to bring in another £5,000 a month, or dollars a month, $10,000 a month. And then what we then need to do, the reason tapping with it works, is because we are literally rewiring our subconscious programming to a new belief that suddenly earning 5 or 10 or 20 or £50,000 a month is possible. Because many people, I would say the majority of people who are in employee situation, they end up getting stuck at a certain income level, because you're kind of hardwired to believe that you can only earn a certain level of money, and you may get a pay rise each year. You may expect a certain amount of bonus, but this is because you've then conditioned yourself to believe that your income comes from one source, whereas really money is energy, and it's all around us, and we have unlimited channels of abundance available to us. But we've got to start opening up those channels of belief as well. You've got to believe that money is available. So
I know, I think like everybody, and you say, and just like the how, and a lot of people want to know how. And I know, like, since I've been opening myself up a little bit more, money's coming in from weird places.
yeah,
And like, I didn't expect it, didn't expect that kind of stuff. So when I open it up and just say, okay, show up, and like little by little, a little bit more is coming in, and just like that I didn't expect. Well, why don't we do that? Why don't we start tapping on 5,000 or $8,000 or pounds or whatever you, what is it? What is 5,000 pounds in dollars?
5,000 pounds in dollars, I think, is around, I want to say around $6,500, maybe seven. The exchange rates changed so much recently. It's a little, it's more than five. So I'd say that's 6.5. That's a real guess right now. But yeah, you could put it into Google, say, what is 5,000 pounds in dollars? I'm thinking it's about, I feel the need to find out now. Let's
Well,
quickly
hopefully
find out.
people will be all over the world anyway, so maybe they'll have different currencies besides.
Exactly. And somebody actually put a comment on my YouTube video saying, could you tap on that as a dollar amount, please? And then somebody else replied, said, I think you're better off tapping in pounds. The pounds is more than dollars. So, so that's the thing. Firstly, just come up with a figure. And here's the thing. Sometimes it's fun just to manifest smaller amounts of money first. I do this thing every year called the Prosperity Party, and it's a challenge that I do online, and I get people to set a certain amount of money that they would like to manifest in 30 days. Actually, no, we do it in a week. In 5 days, how much money would you like to manifest by the end of the week? And I usually suggest that £500 or $500 is a good amount to aim for, because it's enough to feel like a lovely gift from the universe. It's enough to feel quite significant, but it's not so much that it's impossible. So
Let's do
I
that.
would say,
That sounds fun. That sounds a lot.
okay, let's do that. So I would ask, everyone watching, okay, let's just keep it as $500 then, or £500.
Okay.
That I'm really open to £500 showing up in my life within the next 7 days, because it's there. And I cannot tell you the number of people, I've had hundreds of people go through this challenge, and people have had money just literally come out of the blue. And I love hearing the stories. Some people set their sights higher. I want to make 1,000 or 5,000 by the end of the week. And the money, I had one lady, she found an old bank account from her from before she was married in her old maiden name, and there was £1,500 in the account that she found that week during the Prosperity Party. So many checks out the mail, tax rebates, gifts from parents, strangers, but also when you're doing this exercise over the course of the week, track everything that comes in. Track, you may find an old gift voucher or a coupon for something. Somebody may buy you dinner. So just add it all up and start to notice how much abundance.
That, like, even if you go to the supermarket and things are on sale, do you consider that part of this?
Absolutely, yeah. I would, say if you really wanted something, I don't know if you've ever had this, where something's in the sale and you go to pay for it and it's been discounted even further, and it's like, oh wow, fabulous, that's even better. So I'd say thank you, universe, and say thank you for each gift you get, because the gratitude, being in that attitude of gratitude, is the secret to abundance. The more we can be grateful for what we've got, the gifts that come in, just say thank you, universe. Show me more. I'm ready to see more. Don't start saying things like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that's happened, because you're sending that big cloud of doubt out there.
Right.
But it's just say thank you for every wonderful thing that comes your way, because what you focus upon expands, and the more you appreciate, the more everything appreciates, and everything will get bigger. Just keep saying thank you for all the blessings that are just there available for you. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this round of tapping.
All right, this will be good. If 5 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever it is, just something short. Put this like for $500 for the week for this prosperity party, and I'm all in. Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. And so you repeat after me, Barbara. Be my echo.
I sure will. Yeah.
Okay. Even though I have no idea
even though I have no idea
how $500
how $500
is going to show up in my life this week,
is going to show up in my life this week,
I'm going to let go of my attachment to that.
I'm going to let go of my attachment to that.
And I'm not going to worry about where it's going to come from
And I'm not going to worry about where it's going to come from
or how it's going to come into my life.
or how it's going to come into my life.
I'm letting that go now.
I'm letting that go now.
And I choose to deeply and completely
And I choose to deeply and completely
love and accept myself anyway.
love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I have no idea
Even though I have no idea
how $500 is going to show up into my life,
how $500 is going to show up in my life,
I'm just going to be open to it.
I'm just going to be open to it.
I'm just going to allow it to happen.
I'm just going to allow it to happen.
And I choose to expect great things this week.
And I choose to expect great things this week.
And I choose to love and accept myself.
And I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to welcome $500
I choose to welcome $500
or more
or more
into my life
into my life
this week,
easily,
effortlessly,
effortlessly,
in fun and wonderful ways.
in fun and wonderful ways.
And I choose to deeply and completely
And I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself
love, honor, and accept myself
during this process.
during this process.
Okay, go through the points. I'm open to receiving
I'm open to receiving
$500
$500
or more
or more
into my life this week.
into my life this week.
And I choose to remember
And I choose to remember
what a wonderful, abundant universe
what a wonderful, abundant universe
that I live in.
that I live in.
There is so much abundance available to me.
There's so much abundance available to me.
And I'm ready to welcome it
And I'm ready to welcome it
with wide open arms.
with wide open arms.
I'm excited about all the ways in which
I'm excited about all the ways in which
$500
$500
or more
or more
could show up in my life.
could show up in my life.
And I'm excited
And I'm excited
for all the ways in which it could come.
for all the ways it could come.
I choose to focus
I choose to focus
on all the wonderful things I already have.
on all the wonderful things I already have.
And I'm excited
And I'm excited
about all the ways in which it could show up for me.
about all the ways it could show up for me.
And I'm ready for this.
And I'm ready for this.
I'm excited for this.
I'm excited for this.
I'm excited because I live in such an abundant universe.
I'm excited because I live in such an abundant universe.
Sometimes I forget this.
Sometimes I forget this.
And I choose to remember
And I choose to remember
just how abundant I am.
just how abundant I am.
And I'm allowing it to flow.
And I'm allowing it to flow.
And I'm allowing it to be easy.
I'm allowing it to be easy.
And I'm allowing myself to receive
And I'm allowing myself to receive
all the good the universe has to offer me.
all the good the universe has to offer me.
And there are unlimited ways
And there are unlimited ways
in which $500 can just show up.
in which $500 can just show up.
And I'm allowing it to be so much fun.
And I'm allowing it to be so much fun.
And I'm saying thank you in advance.
And I'm saying thank you in advance.
I'm feeling really good about receiving $500
I'm feeling really good about receiving $500
or more
or more
into my life this
in
week.
my life.
Feeling really good about this.
Feeling really good about this.
And I'm allowing it to happen effortlessly.
And I'm allowing it to happen effortlessly.
And I'm letting go of any resistance I may have
I'm letting go of any resistance I might have
as to why it can't just show up.
as to why I can't show up.
I'm letting go of all that resistance.
I'm letting go of all that resistance.
I'm letting go of all the hows.
I'm letting go of all the hows.
I'm letting go of all the doubts.
I'm letting go of all the doubts.
I'm just allowing the money to show up out of the blue.
I'm just allowing the money to show up out of the blue.
And I'm so ready to receive it.
And I'm so ready to receive it.
And I'm excited for it.
And I'm excited for it.
In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a nice deep breath in. And exhale.
That was so great. I'm going to be getting, people are going to be telling me things. And yeah, people, let me know. Let me and Mandy and Melanie know how it's coming into your life. That was so great because it is making it just fun and easy and just reminding us that that's what the universe does. You know, the money's there. We just have to let it in.
We do. And yeah, and obviously you want to check out the $5,000 and $50,000 tapping videos. They are on my YouTube channel, Melanie Moore EFT. If you just go to my channel and search 50K tapping or 5K tapping, they'll instantly pop up for you. And yeah, and you can just look at some of the comments, especially on the $5,000 tapping video, because I think that's where people find it more believable to begin. Look at some of the comments on that thread. It just blow me away. Complete strangers. I don't know who these, I'd love to know who these people are who have had, and here's the thing, do it. If you've got a goal to make an extra $5,000 a month, tap every day with that video for at least 60 days, because that's how long it takes to hardwire a new belief into your neural pathways. It's like any lasting change you want to make in your life. You can't just go to the gym once and expect to be fit forever. You don't just brush your teeth once and expect your teeth to be clean forever, or have one shower. It's work we have to do every single day. And if it's a new belief, like, you know, making a lot of money, this is a new neural pathway you need to hardwire into your brain. And that's why I say tap consistently every day. Just make it part of your morning routine, because that's how the lasting change happens. Some people, that's why a lot of people give up with personal development. They will try something for a few weeks, maybe even a month. They don't see the results instantly, so they go back to their old ways again. It's about making lasting change, because it takes at least 60, you know, one of the things I always told myself was that I'm not particularly sporty, I'm not particularly fit, and I find I don't really like exercise. But during the pandemic quarantine lockdown, I started running because I couldn't go to the gym. And again, I'd always told myself, I don't like running, I'm not a runner. But we were allowed to go out once a day for a run or to exercise. I thought, well, I'm jolly well going to use my opportunity to get out of the house. So I started running. And at the age of 44, I'm now in the best shape I've ever been. I can run 5K, you know, easily now. I do this 3 to 4 times a week, whereas before the thought of running 5K just, I couldn't think of anything worse. It'd be torturous. But now I actually, you know, even was it last week, I suddenly had this realization, I am a runner now, because I had my sneakers on, my running gear on. I opened the front door and it's pouring with rain. There's no way in the world I would ever have gone running in the rain a year ago. But now, because I've changed myself at an identity level, I am a runner. I went and ran in the rain, got soaked to the skin, but I felt so good when I got back, and I was really glad that I did it. So it's so possible, regardless of whatever age you are, to tell yourself a new story, to reprogram your subconscious brain with a brand new identity. But it takes consistency. I had to go and run, you know, several times a week during lockdown till this. It's like learning to tie your shoelaces or learning to ride a bike. You can't just practice these things. Even as a child, when we learned to walk, how long does it take us to learn how to walk? But as babies, we don't give up. We don't say, oh, I've tried 3 times. You just get up and you keep doing it until you become a walker.
I think that has definitely been the biggest challenge, like being consistent with it and loving but not expecting anything, just having fun with it and knowing it's going to change, but it's going to, especially the older you get, the longer it might take, but just do it and just be consistent with it. Melanie, this was so great. That's
just, again, another story. Yeah.
It's so great. And I know, like, you know, because I know money is like the #1 topic out there, and people are going to do this tapping with us.
Of course it is. It really is.
We're going to hopefully hear some really fun stories. So hear that, guys. Please, you know, give us some fun stories. And I just want to I appreciate you so much for being on the call with me. And
my absolute pleasure.
It was so great. And everybody, thank you so much. And will just do the tapping with us and listen to her and go onto her YouTube and look for the 50,000 pounds and the 5,000 pound tapping and just go ahead and do it. And it's a lot of fun. So thank you everybody for showing up and see you soon.